Hit record here. So what's up, Joseph? You look a little bit hungover this morning.
Well, that's because I am a bit hungover.
See, Keenan was wise. Lefty was wise. He left you guys alone last night because I was super tired. And I knew today would be a long day and we would have to record this podcast. But you didn't want to be responsible. But I'm glad you guys had fun.
Yeah, well, I don't need to travel today, so it's not so bad.
Not so bad. Anyway, let's get on with this recap of RCGP.
Nitro is the glory. Welcome to the No Name RC podcast with your host tonight, Keenan White, aka Lefty the Great, and if you are unlucky, the Finnish village idiot, JQ. This is the RC podcast with no name, but plenty of content. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some serious bench racing.
Yes, indeed, Nitro is the glory, but E-Buggy pays the bills. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 48 of the No Name RC podcast. I'm your host, Keenan White, a.k.a. Lefty the Great, and joining me today is a slightly tired, slightly hungover Finnish village idiot named JQ. What's up, Joseph?
A bit low energy.
Bit low energy today? You need a Red Bull. Or do you want a Red Bull and vodka?
Maybe that would be better.
So where'd you guys end up going last night? Because I left. I know you were going to a comedy show. I was tired. I just couldn't do it. I was just not. I knew I had to travel today. So I didn't want to be all out late at night. Now, in the past, I would have hung out till 5 a.m. and done this. But, you know, I'm not young anymore. And we had to record this podcast. We're actually recording this podcast from some janky-ass hotel in Santa Ana called Key Inn. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of prostitution, a lot of drug transactions and everything else going on in this hotel. And yeah, but you know, it was cheap. Not even cheap. It wasn't even cheap. That's the thing about it.
Well, when you booked it, it wasn't cheap. It was $50 and then somehow it was $90 when you booked. So
yeah, I don't know what was going on there. I got screwed. But anyway, my last night in California, where did we go last night? We went to Huntington Beach.
Yeah, we stayed around that area. We found a comedy club there. Went to watch them stand up. That was interesting. It was actually a contest. It was the quarterfinals or something, and we had to vote. The people in the audience voted for the 3 best comics.
Yeah, and as we record this, we have like my flight leaves at 2:30. I'm waiting for David to come here. He'll be here at 11. It's gonna be tight.
You should be fine.
Yeah, good thing I booked everything and paid for my bag and everything.
Have you checked in?
Yeah, I've checked in.
Okay.
So I should be good. But I have to return the rental car and do all of that stuff. But before I go on any further, I just want to say shout out to all of the No Name RC podcast listeners from around the world. You guys are awesome. Listen to the podcast. I know episode 47, it was kind of cut short. I had to go in there and re-upload it. I don't know what happened. I was in a hurry Sunday. The internet was iffy at the track. So, yeah. It got all up just a Sunday morning walkabout of RCGP to catch the buzz after the finals on Saturday. So thank you to everybody that tuned into that. Thank you to all the No Name RC podcast listeners from around the world. We can't do without you guys. And we have shirts available. So we'll figure out how to start shipping those out. Get Rupert here working over here in SoCal, shipping shirts out if you want them. Contact me. Or contact him, and we'll go from there. I don't know what sizes we have left or how many we have left, but we have those and RCGP shirts. And before we go on any further, I would like to shout out to our sponsors because without them, we can't do this at all. So shout out to RCMX Online, Euro RC, Just RC, No Bullshit, Assault RC, Techno RC, BK Servos, 454 RC Works, Bipolar Designs. Bipolar was actually, Jason was at the race. He bought me some Nitro is the Glory stickers, not too many to sell, but they look pretty cool. So thank you, Jason, for that. Papa Willie's Traction Tonic. Oh man, JQ Racing. I don't know why I'm forgetting all these sponsors, but it's early in the morning for me. Not even early, but JQ Racing, who's sitting right next to me, is looking at me like, if you don't say anything good about JQ Racing, I'm going to slap you. But thank you to all my JQ Racing family from around the world, especially the guys that showed up to this race and represented. We're super proud of you guys. So thank you for your time. And obviously, I want to shout out to Assault RC, Beach RC, Brent Dansford. I'm glad he made it out there. Bought me a badass Beach RC shirt that I rocked, which is really cool. And he put Lefty as the grade on the back, and I thought that was awesome. And Joseph's looking at me like I'm crazy now. So, yeah. Thank you to all of our sponsors, and big thank you to everybody that came out and supported the RCGP race. All the people that have supported us throughout, supported the concept from the get-go, and the people that came out. Majority, I would say, of the feedback has been positive. Yes, nothing's perfect, but RCGP is done and dusted, Joseph. Yeah, it's over. Can you breathe a sigh of relief now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I did last night.
I think I did Sunday when everything finished and we were just sitting there and I sat down and I had a beer in my hand. I was cool, but after the final and everything, I sat down in the chair and I was just like, wow, that's over. And I didn't even do as much as you guys, but it's been a stressful year.
Yeah. It's kind of been 2 years.
Yeah.
For me, and now it's done, so I'm happy.
Yeah, and it was a smashing success. That's the only way I could describe it.
Yeah, I think there were 2 races that I was really worried about. That was the first one, because it was the first one. And then now the last one, because it's in America. And we all know from racing in America that the race program isn't as structured as back home in Europe. So I thought it would be a real challenge to try and pull this off in America with the schedule and the race format and marshalling and all of these things and tech. And I just thought, I thought it could end in disaster, to be honest. But everything ran smoothly and we stayed on schedule and everything went well. Mao did a good job. David did a good job. Tech.
I think we did get a bit behind on Saturday, maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah, but nothing serious.
Nothing serious.
So I was happy how that turned out.
Yeah, I mean, I think it lived up to all the buzz. I mean, yes, there was some confusion, and it wasn't perfect. I will be the first one to say that it wasn't perfect, but a lot of the confusion kind of worked its way out in the end, especially with the marshals providing a turn marshal before their race. That confused a lot of people.
Yeah, but it all ended well, I think, and the most common feedback I got was there's a lot of track time. So the RC2 guys were happy that they got a lot of track time. Some people even saying that it was too much, like they were burned out.
Yeah, that was somebody telling me that on a Saturday. It's like, man, I'm had so much track time. I'm actually just happy now.
Yeah. And then the second thing was that it was the structure of it all, having a schedule, knowing when you're running, you can plan your day, you can leave the track, you can come back, and you know when you're racing. So I think those 2 things were the main positive feedback I got.
Yes, the people that got it understood it. Even for myself, I have to admit, I feel like an idiot. I didn't know that there was live scoring until the actual final main on my phone. And someone had to show me how to do it. So I feel like such an idiot. Had I known that.
Yeah, but it was always posted on Facebook. So
I know.
I'm surprised you didn't read the RCGP Facebook.
Well, I was kind of busy this weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm an idiot. I didn't figure it out today.
So, yeah, Everlaps does have live scoring. So
but it is a bit, it's once you figure out Everlaps, it's good, but it is a learning curve.
Compared it's different. To it's not the same as Live RC, so it's different. So you have to learn a different system, but doesn't mean that it's complicated. It's actually quite simple once you figure it out.
Yeah, I agree with you. But, like with anything, it takes time.
There was the problem, though, that for some reason, if you had AT&T, the website didn't work, which is really weird. But if you have, I have T-Mobile, so I didn't have a problem. The Everlaps.com website worked. And once I live scoring and everything. So.
Once I figured it out, it wasn't a problem. But, man, I will tell you this. I want to say this. Now that I got to actually be here and be a part of this, I can see how much work behind the scenes goes into this. We was there all week. And, Andrew Trotter and his crew, they put in a lot of work getting the track ready. And also during the race. So kudos and shout outs to the Andrew Trotter and the Thunder Alley crew
And
First off,
you
'cause
see
they
how
worked hard.
the media guys never really stopped even.
No, they are professionals and work hard. Like, for me to see behind the scenes, they were always doing something. They were busy, like the whole time they were there. And then you had to, and not just sitting in one spot. They would have to, because the announcing booth was so small that they would have to come up. You're sharing it with Stefan. Stefan's there all day silently. I like Stefan, smart dude, Swedish chef. He sounds like the Swedish chef a little bit, but I like him. You know, he's probably going to slap me next time he sees me, but he's a very nice guy. Sits there silently, watching the numbers and whatnot. He knows what he's doing. James is always running about. Matt is like always in thought. And then Zach and Ash on the cameras. And, of course, Nick doing the announcing, the commentating.
Yeah.
So they worked their butts off, too.
I remember there were complaints like, why isn't everything streamed, or why isn't this filmed for RC2 and those things. Well, there you have it. There's just no time. They need to film certain things and then go edit them and then upload them, start playing what they created, 10 minutes before the RCGP race.
Yep.
Do the interviews, then do the race, and then end the sort of that part of the broadcast, then start all over again. So there really isn't time to do anything more. Yeah.
Even when I was trying to do my podcast, it was so tight, and the internet was not very good, not cooperating with me. So I went out and did my morning thing, and I was trying, and then I went to rush up and help, Nick commentate on the RC2 class, and then, try and show some love to the JQ Racing guys, which I actually missed that being in the pits this weekend. I really missed that. But it's a lot of work, and people just won't know until you're right there and seeing behind the scenes. And kudos to RC Racing TV, and because they bust their ass to bring this free production, because they do it for Europe as well. You don't have to pay anything to us, and it's top notch. So if anybody's complaining about stuff, well, I suggest you get your own equipment and come do this, because it's not easy at all. So kudos to them.
Yeah, I haven't watched the broadcast yet, so
I haven't either. I don't
want to
even
watch a bit.
I don't even want to hear myself on there.
Did you say something funny?
Maybe. I don't know. I just knew. I leave that to Nick. He kind of knows. He's got the funny quirks, but I knew who the racers were and where they came from and what tracks they represent. Not most of them. So, and a lot of people, that's what kind of lacked from the RC2, because Nick just didn't know who they were. So I tried my best to make it exciting. Commentating is okay. It's definitely a two-man job, I think. I'm not probably a play-by-play guy. I'm more of a
analyst.
Yeah, I would say that. So definitely need a play-by-play as well as an analyst. I enjoyed it, but I think I enjoy watching the races more. But, it's something I wouldn't mind putting in my repertoire, my arsenal.
So you did the whole race?
Most of it. I did help guys sometimes when I was trying to get my podcast up. I did the whole final. But it's extremely hard to find things to say.
I'm sure I couldn't do it. There's no way.
So I get it. And who else impressed me was Justin Wowdy. It's just too bad we couldn't hear him more because the PA system was not as good.
Yeah.
But that dude talked, and he made the racing sound exciting. And of course, I gotta do it because the big joke was Mao calling Jay Smoker. And Jay, he ran with that for the whole weekend. Hamburgers, or something he was saying. But Ma was up there tirelessly. I think he kind of put his foot down early, and maybe that helped out a lot. Some people said they couldn't understand him. I get that. But I definitely feel that a new PA system, I don't know what would happen. We had a nice one prior to that.
Yeah, I don't know what the problem was, but definitely for next year, I need to make sure that the PA system is up to par.
All right, well, let's, and once again, shout out to Andrew Trotter and his track crew, because they worked, that one lady, she was there, for 2 days raking rocks, and the other dude who was helping him lay pipe, I can't remember his name, he was there till late night with Andrew. It started out rocky with you and Andrew, but everybody kind of worked together and did their thing, and they pulled off something great, and he was happy, and I made a new friend in Andrew. He's cool.
Yeah.
And I enjoy his facility, and I want to say thank you for your hospitality, because you made us feel at home there. And Yeah, but let's talk about it because honestly, this race almost didn't even happen
Why is that?
because of the fire.
Oh, yeah.
So it was like just as like only an act of God will stop this race, and that almost happened.
Yeah, because there were 2 fires, I believe, in the area, and they were going to shut down the park for all the firefighters and convicts that go.
Because they had staging there, but they still had the staging there, but they allowed us to be open.
They allowed us to be there.
But it had to be strict. Like you couldn't park in any, like to unload or anything. And it was touch and go. But I can say this, I'm collecting natural disasters now. I've been in an earthquake. I've been in multiple hurricanes, tornadoes. I've been in a volcano, not in a volcano, but while it's spewing ash, and we was out partying, drinking in Ecuador. And it's like, yeah, so what if it blows up? And now I've seen a California wildfire.
Yeah, and the only reason they allowed us to be there was that the event was so big and so international.
Yeah, that was another good thing too.
I can't remember now, 9, 10, 11 countries.
Yeah, but
something like that, and then same amount of states.
Mm-hmm.
And people flying in. So then they thought, okay, well, let's just
they worked with
leave
us.
that. Yeah, let's let the event happen, and we'll work around it.
Yeah, thank you to whoever let that happen, the fire marshal.
We were lucky
because they were going to shut it down, and unfortunately, some people, I think, like a lot of people lost their homes and stuff. The fire wasn't too far from us.
Yeah, that's what I heard, especially on the Thursday or the Friday.
Yeah, and it was so windy. Oh, wow! But you know what? That was actually a blessing because the wind was going in the opposite direction of the fire. Had it been coming, towards us, it would have been smoky and just wouldn't have been great at all.
Yeah, we even got lucky with the wind because it was only windy on Thursday and Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday was perfect.
Beautiful days.
Warm and sunny all day.
Yeah, and speaking of international flavor, man, as predicted, the RC2 class was super stacked. Like you had people from Italy, obviously like Salty Joe came from Bermuda. Okay, I didn't come to race, but I came from DR, but Austria, Switzerland, Canada, and you had people from all regions of America, Southeast, Northeast, Pacific Northwest, SoCal, Midwest, I would say, Texas, Mississippi area. It was a well-attended event. I mean, a lot of people kind of backed out, so we didn't have 100 entries at the end, but they backed out at the last minute. Some people tried to get in. The one guy was like trying to fly out there, and I was like, well, if you make it there by Friday, you can race. But he didn't make it. It was great, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was good to see that the international drivers weren't only the paid drivers in RCGP.
Yeah.
It was actually people who have this as a hobby. So Europeans, Australians,
I forgot
South Americans.
How could I forget the Australians?
Yeah,
the Dexters, Silas and Hunters.
Them flying in for the RCGP, that's an achievement in itself to get people to want to travel across the world to attend the race.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, even the Swiss guys, they had like Swiss RCGP written on the back windscreen of their car. So they were getting into it. The Dexters were here from Australia. Aaron did exceptionally well. We'll talk about that in a minute. But they came. They're still here. They're going to do another weekend race here. And so they're getting their RC full. Great people. Enjoyed the banter with them. With all Ben, Tom, and Aaron.
Yeah.
Was a good weekend. Yeah.
So what about the biggest thing about this race?
The biggest thing
starts.
Oh yeah. Well, let's talk about the gate starts and his infinite wisdom, Rupert Pumpernickel's when it gate starts.
And I think
a whole shot board that took us about 15 hours to build.
Not that long.
It took us 3 hours.
It was like maybe 1.5 or 2 hours.
It took us 3 hours just to get the stuff for it. It worked out. It worked out in the end.
Absolute maximum 2.5 hours in.
Yeah, but
Home
it looked
Depot.
good. But we overthunk that. We could actually just made it completely across the track on a high pole.
No way.
Yes,
It was way better this way.
it was cool, but it's good. All right. Yes. So your whole shot board was fine.
Yeah, attached to the fence, tethered to the other fence with some fishing line. It was perfect.
And we offered whole shot awards for the qualifiers on Saturday. So whoever got a whole shot on qualifier got T-shirts, and the RCGP guys got $100.
I don't know if the RCGP guys got anything in the end.
Oh, okay. So you might have to pay them.
But I know that well, the idea was that the RC2 guys get T-shirts.
Yeah.
Hopefully they did.
Yeah, we gave out some. I know one person in particular made sure that I had them. Yeah, gate starts. So some people love them, some people hate them. I guess I am mixed on it. I enjoy watching the RCGP guys do it. They're there for the show. They're professionals. So this is their job. They are the show. So I don't think they should complain about it. Yes, some people say it mitigates qualifying, but I guess they get to pick. If they get to pick where they start, then fine. I mean, they did it good. I mean, most of the crashes I saw came into the first corner like it would be if it was any other type of start.
The way I see it is, it's not that the gate starts are bad. It's that, yes, they can be improved. So, for example, building lanes so the cars stay in their own lane for the first few feet of acceleration, so they don't take each other out immediately if they accelerate to the left or to the right. So maybe building lanes for the cars, or maybe adding traction to the first few feet of acceleration, carpet or astroturf or something like that.
I thought of that too.
So the gate can still be developed. Maybe just adding a bit of space between the cars, maybe staggering the cars a bit. So there are a lot of ideas to improve the gates. So I'm definitely in favor of the gates because it makes the racing more exciting. So often what we see is if we have a normal grid start, the fastest guys at the front, the slowest at the back. And then after a couple of laps, the field is really spread out. And there's not necessarily very much racing, because everyone's already in their place. But with the gate start, what happens is, first of all, the first lap or two, they're just insanely hectic. And when you have good drivers racing that close, it makes the racing really exciting, and there's a lot of passes. Some drivers going backwards, other drivers going forwards, and that's what we need more of. And something I noticed during this race was the very first gate start we did was perfect. No crashing. Everyone sort of hesitated, was careful. It was good. Second one, everyone just went for it. It was a disaster. And then from there, they actually improved because all the drivers sort of learned to do the start, learned to take the other cars into account, and they improved. Yes, there were still crashes, mostly in the first or the second corner. Not every start had a crash on the front straight. So I think there's definitely a future for gate starts, and at the end of the day, the fast guys, they won. So it's not like the gate start makes it a lottery, and you basically win if you get a good start, and you don't if you don't get a good start. It's still going to be so that if you qualify well, you have an advantage because you can pick the gate first, so you get the gate you want. You have a higher chance of having a good start, but it doesn't guarantee it. Like the chance of you getting blocked by another driver or you having an issue knocking you mid pack or to the back is higher on a grid start. Yes, but that's fine. It's racing. It's just part of racing. So I get it when people complain because they want to be in full control of their destiny, their racing. But at the same time, we need to make this a show. We need to make it exciting, and we need to make it so we don't know what's going to happen. And I think the gate starts do that.
Yeah. That's what the RCGP guys are there for, a show. And I'm absolutely thrilled that you chose to do that. But I'm also on the other side, I'm glad that for the mains of the RC2 classes, you decided to go back to staggered, because that was a big complaint. And you guys listened.
We didn't really want to risk it. So the plan was exactly what we did then in the end. So IFMA qualifying for RC2, then they have a qualifying race. So the qualifying race was gate start. Then there was the junior race, the 40-plus race, and the LCQ. So there were 3 special mains. Those were gate starts. But then for the long 20-minute bump-up mains, we decided to just make normal starts so that when you're in a quarterfinal or a semifinal and you qualified well, you can't then come back and say, well, the RCGP sucked because we had a gate start. I qualified well, but I didn't make the main because I got screwed on the start. So we just decided we don't want to deal with that drama. Just have normal start for the bump ups. Everyone bumps to the final that they sort of deserve. And then for the main, we do the gate start again for the excitement and the show. I think it worked out.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed that. And that, I mean, a lot of people kind of got excited then when they did the gate starts and the qualies. They didn't like it. So it was glad you did that. Because it just, you know, sometimes, like I was telling you beforehand, you're introducing a lot of different things to people. And it just, when you put a gate start in there, it kind of confuses things even more.
I think also the people that like it are people that got good starts, and then the people that don't like it got bad starts. So there's that also. There's that element to it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, at the end of the day, the cream rises to the crop. So it doesn't matter. I mean, look, I think looking at RC2, Camden Lime was probably the fastest kid all weekend. The gate start didn't stop him from winning.
Yeah, and actually, he started number 1, right?
Yeah.
So he was first after the start. Anthony Westergaard, number 3, was second after the start.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so.
Yeah, it didn't really affect anything. And I mean, Camden did well.
It affected everyone watching because it was a lot more exciting to watch.
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about RC2 briefly, being as we talked about Camden Lime. As predicted, super stacked. These guys put on the show. And that's what, as well, they put on a show. It's pretty cool. They didn't have to worry about racing like these pro guys that are way faster than them. You know what I mean? Like, they had their own time to shine, sorry. So,
yeah, and it was a good race for the win also because it wasn't really clear who was going to get it. Camden Lime was fast. Westergaard was fast.
Yes.
Aaron Dexter was fast. Herzig. You know, there were so many drivers who actually had the speed to potentially win the race.
And even there was others like Kyle Turner from NorCal. He was super fast, but I think he broke. He was another one that could have threatened. Jermaine Robinson, young kid from NorCal.
Actually, the RC2 class showed that the HB racing program is really good right now. It's pretty strong.
Yeah.
We don't have the official numbers yet, but it looked like HB had the most cars, actually, really surprisingly, along with JQ Racing with 18.
Yeah, we had 18 cars there. And, man, I'm happy all them guys came out. Trent Walker and Jake Lasco came out from Florida. They had a blast. Trent, first time they've both come to race on the West Coast.
Yeah, so the point being that HB had a lot of cars there, but they also have a lot of really good young drivers.
Yes.
So I think they had 6 cars in the 12-car RC2 main. So half the field. That's really impressive. And an HB guy won.
Yeah. And he won him. And honestly, he won convincingly in the end. So
yeah, he did.
Congratulations to Camden Lime. I know him and his dad were super pumped. He's excited to. I think I was telling him, I was like, you get to race in the RCGP next year if you win this. And he's like, really? I said, yeah.
Yeah, for one race.
And so they're super pumped about that.
And Jermaine Robinson, also an HB driver, won the junior race.
Yep. So, and he won JBRL the weekend before.
Yeah.
And he's from NorCal. So NorCal is pushing out some fast young guys too.
Yeah. So HB's program is looking solid right now in America.
Yeah. And then you had, I would call like Colin Herzig and Tyler Braun like the veterans of that class. Like they're fast, really fast, but they're older and they've been doing this for a long time. And these are the young guys. Like look at Cody Watson. Like for a big surprise for us. First time you've gotten to see him drive.
Yeah, second in the junior race and 5th place in the main. That was impressive.
Yeah. So
the kid's got talent.
He most definitely does. And I think the most exciting race was the LCQ with the we have to talk about it. We'll talk about it. But Aaron Dexter super impressed me as well. Like he finished he wasn't even in the main in the LCQ.
Yeah, I think he had a problem in the semifinal.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened, but he finished 6th or 7th, I can't remember, and had to go to the LCQ. And then it was looking like he was in third position. It was a 3-way battle pretty much between Little Bump, Herzig, and Dexter. But Dexter was just like laying back, waiting for them guys to make a mistake. And on the 2 corners before the loop, they made a mistake, and he ended up winning the LCQ, going through to the final, and ended up finishing, I believe, 2nd. Yeah, he finished 2nd, right? No, he finished
Dexter?
3rd. He finished 3rd because Westergaard finished 2nd.
Which race?
The RC2 final.
Yeah, Westergaard was 2nd.
So the thylacine hunters all the way from Australia, who we got to meet at JBR, and him and his dad and his brother Ben, they did really well, man. Aaron did really well. Super impressed. Like, if they didn't know who he was before, they know who he is now. To come over here to California, not really have raced in a race of this magnitude and on this type of track and do so well, it says a lot about them. And they're a great family to be around. So congratulations to them. Congratulations to Camden Lime, who put in all the work. He was, him and his dad worked hard. They came to this track beforehand, did some testing. And Herzig, man, Herzig doesn't race much, but I got to put a shout out to him too. He came 4th. And of course, Anthony Westergaard. Anthony Westergaard is better than you now. I saw you guys arguing on Facebook. He's definitely better than you.
He's better than me now.
I'm pretty sure he's better than you. He beat you at JBRO.
We'll have the deciding race here in 2 weeks. The Pro Line something.
Oh yeah,
at Thunder Rally.
All right, so you got to race him again.
Yeah,
but he is impressive. Anthony Westergaard has improved leaps and bounds since I saw him last year, and kudos to Factory Tracks because he busted his ass building that track as well. His wife and his son, everybody spent days at the track building it, and doing anything with you isn't easy. So
yeah, but it was worth it. His best track that he's built.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. So,
and you know what? Saxton, Degani also in the main.
Yeah, the two. Oh man, the 40 plus race, Degani almost got him. Got him.
I haven't seen it yet. I was wrenching, but I heard about it.
But it's so amazing that here we are, 25 years later. These guys are still racing each other.
Yeah, and Saxton finishes 8th and Degani 10th.
Yeah.
So
Degani's got one more race, then he'll go into retirement to Fallbro and probably come Fallbro.
Yeah. He's doing the Sidewinder race on Saturday at Revelation.
Yeah. But that LCQ, man, that was amazing. Like, little bump, 8 years old, bumped up to the semi because he didn't. I don't know if he directly qualified or he bumped to it.
Led the whole race and then last lap tangle with
Herzig, yeah.
Dropped to 3rd.
And you know what was so funny? He came off the stand like doo-doo, like still smiling, having fun. And that kid could have easily been in the final. He's so talented and he's so young and he's so cute with his big stick radio and he's just like wants to play and stuff like that. I talked to him a little bit in the morning. He just doesn't hang around Cody, and that's that dirty South region, man. Louisiana, Mississippi, they're pushing out some fast races. They got some good club racing, club
he's
scenes
really
going
good.
on there.
I mean, he's that good now at 8 years old. So imagine in another 4 years when he's 12.
Yeah.
He could be like Tebow was back in the day. Yeah.
So super impressive. The RC2 guys, they impressed me, man. I think everybody, like, I'd say this all the time. RC2 is like, you say it 250 and RCGP is 450 or amateur and pro, as I like to say. But those are truly some of the best amateur racers in the world, I would say.
Yeah, the level of racing in the RC2 class was the best here in America compared to the other races, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I had more entries and just had some of the top names, and it was good to see. I mean, Camden Lime he did well at the Nationals, and he came here and did this, so he's super happy, and it should be see what 2020 brings.
Looks
for him.
like he's shopping around a bit for a chassis.
Yeah. So
let's see where he lands.
I don't think he's going to be in an HB next year. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So he is driving Ultimate Engines, so that's good for Beach RC.
Yeah.
So.
Probably looks like an S-Works or a Gamma.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me too. I wouldn't be surprised. So
they'll have a wild card entry next year,
Yeah.
wherever he lands.
Yeah, they will. So congrats to all the RC2 guys. You guys were awesome. And to all the people that I got to meet and shake hands with and whatnot, I appreciate you guys coming and your support. I want to shout out to the Pacific Northwest guys, Colin Branch and all them guys. You know how impressed me a lot was Kyle Johnson. I've never really seen him race, and he's still super fast. And he doesn't race with these SoCal guys much. You know, he doesn't race in Vegas. He just goes up to the Pacific Northwest and races a lot. And I told him, and I said, for a guy who doesn't race with these fast guys, right? Not, you know, he races up in the Pacific Northwest, but he's obviously the fast guy up there. For a guy that doesn't race against faster guys on a regular basis, you're still really fast. And I was like, you should honestly race some more. Because he's good, like, you know?
Yeah, he's good. He made the main. He had some sort of problem, finished 11th.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
There's lots of good guys out there, man. Hopefully this rejuvenated the passion to race again, you know? So we shall see. DNC will be interesting to see who comes and signs up.
Yep.
But shout out to the Pacific Northwest guys, and I got my first White Claw. So thank you to Shane Gagnon and Chuck Harris and all those guys who hooked that up. I appreciated that. And yes, White Claw is good. It's good and refreshing to drink. It's definitely something.
I haven't tried one.
Yeah, you could try it. It's refreshing. It's like something you could just take and just drink. You don't even know it has alcohol in it.
That's dangerous.
You know? Shout out to those guys. So let's move on to RCGP, where you had one hole shot that you was all happy of, and that was the highlight of your weekend.
Yeah, well, two, but the first one was good, but it was in practice. So it was when we practiced the starts in seeding. I got a killer hole shot. It felt good.
That was the highlight of your race.
Yeah, but then the true highlight of my race got destroyed by Patrick Hoffer. And then he got destroyed in the races after that. I don't know how that happened.
Did Rupert Pumpernickel show up?
Rupert showed up. The sheriff showed up because it was so bad. So bad. So I got the whole shot, and he was second. And we go into, after the first corner, you kind of double down, cross the whole shot line. I was like, yes, I get to lead a qualifying race. Go into that corner, blasted me. I don't know what he was thinking. Anyway, dead last. So I went from whole shot to dead last, and I hated the gate starts in that moment. But I loved it the second before when I was like jumping over the whole shot line. So close.
Yeah, it wasn't a good weekend for Hoffer. Max as well showed glimmers of brilliance, but
yeah, Max just can't keep it together. That's going to be his job for next year. He has the lap times. He's really fast, but I don't know. He just can't keep it together.
Yeah, it's a shame. Maybe he'll take some time off. Reset.
Yeah, he has to go to the army, so the army's going to reset him, remotivate him, and then he'll come back.
Yeah.
So in Finland, everyone has to go to the army for like 6 months.
Mm-hmm. All year,
6 to 12 months, basically.
So he'll get a haircut.
Yeah, he has to get a haircut, probably a shave. So that has to happen.
All right, let's talk about Beach RC team, Evan Vale and Ryan Lutz.
Yeah, I think Vale was sort of where I expected. He improved throughout the weekend. Sunday he was much stronger than on Saturday. So kind of learned the format, learned the race, maybe improved his car and his driving, and did better on Saturday. And Lutz had some issues with the starts because he flamed out twice.
Right. Apparently on the Agamas, the rear of the chassis is kicked up.
Yeah, so it slid over the sort of the rubber piece there on the back that holds
Leon actually put a rock there.
Yeah.
And it worked. And he told Billy to do the same thing.
Yeah. So that's a shame. But then I don't know why. For example, in Sunday in the long main, he just didn't really have the pace of the top guys. It was good. He finished 5th. He was pretty low down, I think, in the beginning, and then drove towards the front.
But I was honestly expecting more.
A bit of pace. Yeah, me too. I expected him to be sort of with Ongaro and Ronafolk sort of level, but now he was a bit behind.
I think talking to him previously is like, I think the nighttime racing was a big concern of his at that track.
Yeah.
With the shadows and stuff. And he said he wasn't the biggest fan of it.
Now that you say it, I think he had more flashes of brilliance, in the qualifying races, daytime racing. But then both days he ended up 5th overall. That's still really good.
Yes.
But it's just a bit behind where I expected him to be.
I'm sure he wasn't happy with his results too. He was there practicing all day Saturday, and he was like, he was all business. So was expecting more from Lutz, but still a great result. Top 5 for him on both days. He did win one of the qualifiers, I believe, or something. But I think when you come into this type of racing and you haven't done it before, you're always going to struggle. That's why, like, the other guys know what has to be done.
Yeah, on Saturday he won. He flamed out in the first one, won the second one. I believe flamed out in the third one at the start also. And then fourth one he got 5th. So 1 and 5 for the races he didn't have an issue in.
But all in all, I think Billy and him had a great time. Billy actually stopped racing. Is like, I achieved everything I needed to achieve on Saturday. I don't need to race anymore. He was happy to make the 40-plus final. And talking to Billy afterwards, he was super impressed with everything. Like a lot of people say, there's things that can be changed, like anything. But hopefully we see a Nemo USA or Nemo Agama team in RCGP next year.
Yeah, and then Lutz on Sunday, he got 3rd, 5th, 4th, and 7th in the qualifying races. So, yeah, he was fast, but he was just a bit off the top guys. But another guy that I actually picked for the podium on Sunday, Kyle Mcbride.
Yeah, he bent a hinge pin first race on Saturday. And then he was strong.
Yeah,
weekend.
He was really strong. He didn't go to tech twice, I think, on Saturday. So he got DQ'd in a couple of qualifying rounds, but he still qualified 5th. So he got a 1st and a 3rd in the races. He didn't get disqualified in. And then in the mains, you said he had a problem in the first one, so he didn't even run the first main. But then he got 2nd in the second main, so 6th overall. So even there you can see that he was way faster than what his results showed on Saturday. And then on Sunday, he had a better day. So again, in qualifying, he was strong. He qualified 4th. He had 4th, 3rd, 6th, and 4th. But then I picked him for the long main because he's a driver that he just keeps on going. When you watch him drive, it doesn't look like he's going that fast always. But I don't know, he is. So he was battling there with Ronafolk and Canas in the early stages of the final, and ended up finishing 2nd. Well, he was in 3rd place when Ronafolk was leading, but then Ronafolk had a receiver failure, so Ongaro wins and Mcbride is 2nd. So Mcbride really is the real deal. Yeah,
I wish he would. I hope he comes over to America more next year and races as well, or even to some more big races. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. Lee Martin kind of was. Yeah,
Lee has more pace than what his results showed. He had a couple of good qualifying races, but then he had an issue in the long main, and I feel like he kind of needs to put a bit more of an effort into nitro racing if he wants to get the results that he deserves. He's a better driver than what his results are at the moment, I think, throughout the whole year, to be honest.
Okay. Let's move on to S-Works. Now, Cav was a bit disappointing for me. I was expecting more out of him, but I got to watch Canas drive fully this time, and wow, Canas is super punched. Like, he was probably the most punched driver out there.
Yeah, I would say Canas was definitely the stronger of the two at this race. I think Cavalieri hasn't been racing that much nitro, but yeah, he's just good. He shows up. He got 4th in the first main on Saturday, then had a problem in the second main, so a bit of a lower finish than expected in 8th. But he was never really a threat. He was never really on the pace of those other guys, and Canas was, and he was just a step behind. Then on the Sunday, he finished 6th place. Sort of, I would say kind of like Lutz. Capable of more, but just a bit off the pace. So maybe a bit frustrating for him too, the whole experience where he was sort of racing mid-pack when he probably feels like he should be racing at the very front.
Yeah.
But if he wants to do that, then
he needs to race it more.
I think he needs to race more 8 scale, test more, work on his setup, get really comfortable with the equipment, and then he can do it.
Yes.
So it's not a case that the car isn't good enough or he isn't good enough. It's just that he has other commitments, races a lot of 10 scale. It was a 10 scale Worlds year. So if he just focuses more on 8 scale, I think he can be up there, with Canas, who finished 3rd on Sunday, or with Mcbride, with Ongaro, with Ronafolk. He can do it. It's just, does he choose to focus on that or not?
I agree with you there. Where did we have to see where Canas ended up in points though as well? Overall.
Okay, let me check. So go on to the next.
All right. Well, I think the 2 people that impressed me the most, one of them being Cole. Cole was probably the fastest racer at this whole race.
Yeah, he was really fast.
He's
always had this high level of skill in placing the car, whipping the car, jumping the car. It was evident when he came to the Neo for the first time. He was running for TLR back then, and he made the main. And just the precision that he drives with, and it's impressive when he's on. And yeah, just developed the talent and racing on these, super technical American tracks.
Yeah, coming off of Southern Nats win, he was riding a high. He was super fast. I don't know what happened to him in the finals.
Something happened on the Saturday to where he didn't get a better result. And let's check where he finished. So on the Saturday, he still finished 3rd overall. He finished 2nd in the first main and 6th in the second main. That's what I was remembering. So his second main didn't go as strong, but he still managed to finish on the podium, which is really strong. So Ronafolk winning on Saturday, Ongaro 2nd, and then Ogden in 3rd. So a really strong performance from him. And he TQ'd, didn't he, on Saturday? So
yeah, that
was really good also. Let's see his results in qualifying. He had a 1st, a 3rd, a 1st, and a 6th for TQ on Saturday. So really strong performance.
Him. He was the fastest car there, period. But then Ronafolk wasn't too far behind him.
I think Ronafolk just won because he has done it before. He, the confidence and the stability, consistency of someone like that. So even though Cole was faster and showed like, wow, he can win these qualifying races, I think Ronafolk went into the mains still thinking that he's going to win.
And he did. He won Saturday, which I knew he was happy to do. But I know the big win was Sunday.
Yeah. So Cole, again, just to show like how fast he really was and consistent. So on Saturday, he qualified 2nd. And he had one bad race, the first race with an 8th, and then was 2nd, 3rd, and 2nd. So really good weekend for him.
Yep.
And then the 60-minute main. Good race. I don't know if he had any issues or if this was just his speed, but he finished 4th. So, again, him and Canas were close. And on Saturday, Cole was 3rd and Canas was 4th. And then on Sunday, Canas was 3rd and Cole was 4th.
Yeah. Super impressive Cole this weekend, man. And he was just on a whole different level of speed at some point, even over his teammate of Ronafolk.
Yeah. I think this track, this type of track, this surface, this was good for not just the HB car, but also the drivers.
Yeah,
I think
they did well.
Ronafolk excels on.
And look at that, Mcbride's driving a HB car.
Yeah,
and
he
done well.
That's a good point. Yeah,
so
and all the RC2 guys doing well with the HB. Yeah. This kind of track, the HB was really good, and But for the HB team in RCGP, I think it's also because both drivers excel on tracks like this too.
Mm-hmm.
So back in the day when Ronafolk was running Kyosho, when he came over, raced on these kind of tracks, he did really well. So
Yeah.
yeah, they had a strong showing for
Yep.
sure.
And moving on to David Ronafolk. Oh, so heartbroken for him. And we was just like, yeah, this race is over. David's got it. And with 6 minutes to go, his car just stops.
Yeah. I mean, this has happened so many times to David. And when it's a receiver, I think it's really, I mean, that's bad luck.
Mm-hmm.
I often say you make your own luck in that, but I'm sure the receiver wasn't a super old one. It just failed. And I'm sure he had, foam padding in the receiver box and did everything right, and still it failed. So sometimes you're just unlucky. And he basically lapped the field in that 60-minute main.
Did he? And then, oh, man. I don't even know if he was really upset, because I think he kind of felt...
I think he won on Saturday, and he proved to everyone he was the fastest on Saturday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he didn't win, but he wasn't going to win the championship anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he was okay with it.
Yeah, but he was super fast. And then Ongaro, man, who was not his best weekend.
Yeah, but I mean,
but still there
imagine,
at the end.
Not his best weekend. They weren't happy with their tire choices. They weren't happy with the car. Still, he's like finishing second.
Yeah.
Winning qualifying
He looks
races.
effortless. I watched him drive out there, and it doesn't even look... It's just like his attitude towards us. Like, yeah, no problem, you know? And then his driving is exactly how his attitude is. It don't sound effortless. It sounds effortless. It looks effortless, but he's going fast. Where you can hear Cole is like... Him is like... and just...
Yeah. I think he actually added some toe in at this race.
Yeah.
But it's impressive because he drives a car that's normally quite loose. The rear end is sliding around, and he's kind of controlling the slide, drifting around the track in control. So a track like this is really the sort of worst case scenario for him, because you have to be so precise on the jumps, and it's just different. It would be... I don't know how he does it. When I watch Ronafolk, I can tell why he's fast, because he's driving around the track with traction. The car has grip, and he's placing it exactly where he wants. And then Ongaro looks like he's just... Ongaro...
Out on a Sunday morning drive?
Yes, but because of the way he sets his car up, the way it's so loose, he needs to always drift it and kind of slide it around. So it looks like he's driving it the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you put a normal guy there, they can't even make the car go around the track like that. It's just he's so used to that type of driving. But because the conditions don't suit that setup, that's why he wasn't, heads and shoulders above everyone else.
Yeah. But he still managed. He was gifted a win. And, that happened to him at Montpellier this year. He was in the lead, and his receiver pack died or something wrong with his battery. And who won that? Was it Canas who won that, or Boots? I can't remember. So I think Canas won it in the end. Can't remember. But, in order to finish a race, in order to win a race, you must first finish. And, another quote that was sent to me by Beat, the fastest race cars break down at the end of the race, or something like that, after the race is over.
Yeah, so anyway, now you have to head to the airport, but let's go through the points real quick.
Yeah, like we're cutting it close here, people.
So Ongaro wins. He already won at the previous race. Almost double points to anyone else. Actually almost a perfect season. So he won 7 out of 8 races, which is just ridiculous. Ronafolk obviously winning the 1. Canas second. Ronafolk third, and that was actually the battle. Canas only beat out Ronafolk with 7 points. So that was close. And Mcbride, with his strong performance, jumped up to 4th. And not that far behind Ronafolk either. So apart from first place, 2nd, 3rd, 4th were all within, how many points is that? 15 points. So
Where did you finish?
I actually finished 6th.
And who finished in front of you?
Ogden.
Okay, so Ogden beat you. Where did Max finish?
Max finished 11th. But I beat Robert, I beat Barufalo, but they only did
Two
two
races.
races each. So there's that.
Well, you can take that home and
Yeah, and 21 drivers scored points this year
yeah,
in RCGP.
that's pretty interesting.
And for the teams, again, Comsport, MX, Scuderia Scampi Rosso, they already won the team championship for this race. We knew. So that was clear. But then there was a race for second between S-Works and HB. And HB had a really good weekend, but so did S-Works. So S-Works just beat them by 9 points. So yeah, Ongaro was just too good this year.
Yeah,
But if we don't count him, the championship was really close.
for sure.
Teams, second, third, and fourth, they're close in points. So
All right.
let's see next year if
I think
the championship.
I
will
think
remain
all in
closer.
all the naysayers and everybody that was against this, I think looking at the positive results and positive race reports from people, most of the people had fun. Some people did get upset, but that's always the thing at a race. You're never going to please anybody. And lots of people came out to watch it, you know. Even you acted mature and kind of hopefully have buried the hatchet with Adam. You know, we kind of got that going. That's on you to keep that part of the deal up. But he did come out and watch the race. He helped Camden Lime pit. You and him actually shook hands.
Yeah, we'll definitely be practice partners.
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe not first.
Maybe not right away.
This year, but 2020.
Yeah, but it's good to see you guys shaking hands and trying to and you being cordial to him. So that means, you know, you just don't be yourself. But it's good to see that. And I was impressed, and I talked to him, and he liked the track, and I'm sure he was impressed with the racing as well. And finally, you acted mature enough and did something I told you to do.
Always listen to Lefty.
Sometimes, not always, but 99.9% of the time, you must listen to Lefty.
Sure. Yeah, overall, I think the season was a success. Of course, there are things to improve, but this was a really good, strong foundation to launch off.
Of course.
I believe all the teams that are with us now are staying for next year. I mean, of course, JQ Racing will be there. HB and S-Works are basically confirmed they're in. The other teams seem like they're staying also. And RCGP with David Isherwood are now looking to sign 3 more teams to fill the field. And then we go into year 2.
Year 2. Can't wait. It's going to be awesome. Lots of work. But I think also, man, Sunday got a lot of views.
That's
I think
true.
at
Yeah,
peak,
that's true.
I think at peak on Facebook Live, 3,800 people were watching.
Yeah, I haven't seen an RC race with that many people watching live. 3,800 people, and also the views were like 70,000 views
Combined with
on
YouTube
Facebook and YouTube that day.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
and also actually, if you look at all the videos from the year, RCGP have achieved around 1 million views.
Yeah.
Videos, and it wasn't done by piggybacking on existing channels. It was started from zero.
Exactly.
The YouTube channel, the Facebook, there was nothing. And it was only shown there. So there was no existing audience, just trying to build an audience from scratch.
Yep.
Organically, not paying to have bots watch or stuff.
Exactly.
Real people watching. And so the million mark has been the goal, and it looks like it's going to be achieved.
And now we have the post-production coming out within the next few months. And now you have a product. This is what I was trying to tell people. Now RCGP has a product to go approach bigger sponsors, Monster Energy, Red Bull, say, hey, this is what we're doing. Not saying that we're going to get that, but now you have something to show to people and say, this, you can do this. So that was also one of the goals for this year.
Yes, exactly. And it's not done yet. That's the other thing. So, yes, the racing is done now. The last race is finished. But there's still a lot going on. So there's still different reports and videos and post-production stuff that's going to be released during the end of this year. And even going into next year, before the season starts, there's even more stuff that's going to be released. So the racing might have ended, but the teams and the brands are still going to receive, promotion, and the brand of the series is still going to continue to be built.
Yep, I agree. and I can't wait. Now, I know it sounds like we're rushing, but literally, we have to get out of this hotel, and I have to get to the airport because I have a 2:30 flight.
And it's on the dot 1 hour.
Yeah. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you to everybody that tuned in to watch RCGP. Thank you to Andrew Trotter and Thunder Alley for all their hard work. Thank you to RC Racing TV for all their hard work, and all the RCGP crew, and of course all the people that supported RCGP. It was an awesome event. It was an awesome year, and we look forward to more.
Yeah. And from me also, thank you to everyone who supported RCGP. I knew it was possible. I wasn't sure if we would pull it off, but I'm really happy that it all worked out the way it did.
Yes, and before I sign off here, I want to say thank you to all the No Name RC podcast listeners from around the world, and to all of our sponsors, RCMX Online,
Are you tearing
Euro
up, Lefty?
RC,
Are you tearing up?
545, 454, RC Works, Assault RC, Beach RC, BK Servers, Papa Willie's Traction Tonic, Bipolar Designs, Techno RC, and of course the Finnish Village idiot himself, JQ Racing. Anyway, guys, gotta catch a flight. Nitro is the glory, but E-Buggy pays the bills. And if you ain't grinding, you're sliding. Talk to you guys later.
Still don't know whose bills.
Nitro is the glory. Thank you for listening to the No Name RC podcast. Please tune in next time for more fresh RC content. And if you can, please also support us on patreon.com/The Quay Grain. We will greatly appreciate it. And don't forget, Nitro is the glory.